Do people question your low vision experience? Like, how can you see some things but not others? Or are you a vision professional who struggles to explain to your clients and patients the different aspects about low vision? What if there are things you can do to make life easier? In today's video, I'll be describing vision in a new way that helps give you the words and confidence to find solutions in your everyday life. My name is Roxanne, and after helping adults overcome low vision challenges for over a decade, I developed a theory to better serve my clients. First, it describes each person's unique visual experience. Second, it increases understanding for yourself or vision professionals, and even for your friends and family. And third, it's about finding better solutions. This is not medical advice, but it is designed to provide you with more options. In this video, I'll show you how vision itself is not linear and why each person's individual experience is unique. This is so you can explain, advocate, and get the results that you need for fully enjoying everyday life. Real quick, before we dive in, I just want to take a second to thank the subscribers who have stuck with me during a time when I've had some life changes happening and I've been away for a bit. But now I'm super excited to be posting videos again. And I have another great announcement to make about other services I'll be offering, and we'll talk about that more later. So when we think about vision, oftentimes we think like someone can see or they can't see. There's people who are legally blind and there are people who are not. Sometimes people can be walking around seemingly just fine, but they can't find their glasses right in front of them on the table. And there are so many factors revolving around that. So for today, I will be using a worksheet that I created. So on this wheel of vision, we have 8 different categories that we're going to be talking about. And the first one is visual acuity. So when we think about visual acuity, it's usually the 20 over some number that the eye doctor tells you when you get your eyes checked. So for example, 2200 or greater is considered legally blind, and 2070 used to be the threshold for being considered low vision. However, as we'll see in this video, there are so many other factors that go into that. But we'll just say, for example, in this video, 2070 would be, let's say, what you were given from your eye doctor as your visual acuity. Okay, so if we think about on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, how much does that 20/70 vision affect you? Are you able to correct it further with glasses or contact lenses? Does it impact you mostly for getting around, or are you more of a homebody and you find that how clear your vision is really impacting more of TV watching or reading? So those are all things to think about. It's very subjective. So just for the purposes of this demonstration, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, we find that the visual acuity bothers us somewhat, but not quite a 10. Okay, so maybe we have some workarounds that we've discovered. We have some magnifiers laying around the house, things like that. So we're going to mark visual acuity then as a 7. Okay, so I've just put an X there on the line for 7 under visual acuity. So next, let's think about contrast. So this is really about think high contrast menu options, right? Or things that are very colorful or very bold, compared to, let's say, for example, something that looks more like a grayed out newspaper print. Okay, so contrast is how well you can pick up the print, let's say, on the grayish colored newspaper print paper, and then determining how much does that impact your life. Let's say, for example, if a curb does not have any type of yellow or coloring or other types of indicators that there's a curb, um, does it all blend in for you as the same color? Let's say, for example, there are other things that you've discovered, like if you wear yellow tinted glasses, then that might help you to discern more in the difference between the background color and the foreground color. So just thinking about how much that might impact you, let's say you, on a scale of 1 to 10, really struggle with picking up any types of differences in the contrast on materials. So let's mark the contrast a 3 on our worksheet. Okay, the next one is depth perception. So depth perception is about how close or far away things look to you. So this is another example of when we were talking about the curb. It could be a contrast situation or it could be a depth perception situation. One of the things about depth perception, and this isn't talked about really enough, but people who have monocular vision, in other words, they are using only one eye. Now, that does not automatically qualify someone as legally blind or low vision because it depends on a lot of factors. However, depth perception is greatly impacted for people who are using only one eye for vision. So some of the solutions for that are some tactics that are taught in vision rehabilitation, such as scanning and things like that. But it's important to understand that it is something that takes both eyes generally to balance that out, to obtain depth perception. So let's say you have both of your eyes working together in managing your depth perception, so that on a scale of 1 to 10 isn't necessarily impacting you much. You feel like you're pretty confident about knowing how far away things are. Say when you go to put a glass down on a table and judging the distance of that. We will say put that on the line for an 8. Okay, so we marked an 8 for depth perception. It can be really hard to find good information and resources. So people have been asking me about being able to just have phone conversations with them. So I'm really excited to be able to offer that. And there will be a link in the description box below if you want to find out more about that. So moving on, we have the next category of peripheral vision. So that's like your side vision. And this can impact things like you find yourself perhaps on one side or both sides, bumping your shoulder into doorways, missing things or people that are on either side of you. So let's say in this example, on a scale of 1 to 10, you do find that your side vision or peripheral vision has been greatly reduced. Okay, so it may even have caused you some safety issues. We're going to mark that down as a 2. Next up, we have light sensitivity. So if overhead lights bother you, sometimes people talk about the fluorescent lights that are in large department stores or grocery stores, really, really causing some pain and discomfort in someone's eyes. Um, and it could be bright lights, such as when you're out in the sun or where there's reflections, um, like water or snow. So let's say, for example, that you have actually found some ways around this. Maybe you've been using different color tinted glasses or fit overs under different circumstances to help with that light sensitivity. And you feel like you've got a pretty good handle on that. However, if you leave them at home, or maybe you have a light at home that you just you haven't found the right bulb to change it out with, and it still is bothering you, but it's not um, critical. So let's say we'll mark the light sensitivity down as a 5. We'll just kind of go middle of the road with that one. Okay, so we put an X for the light sensitivity in the middle there. All right, next is colors. So with colors, maybe your perception of colors or identifying colors, telling the difference, say, between blue and black, or red and orange, or green and brown. This can be something that color blindness, sometimes people are just born with that, and they get along, just fine. Some people develop a color perception challenge later in life, and it seems more impactful, right? So let's say you're somebody who's really into your fashion, right? You have a closet full of beautiful clothes. You've been able to go in there before, find what you need, but now you're having a little more trouble identifying those. And for some people, that wouldn't be a big deal, but for other people, that would be a big deal. And again, this is all very subjective. It's all very individual. So let's say for you, um, it's affected you and that you feel less confident, like going out and visiting and going to gatherings. Um, so we're going to mark that one a 9, that having your color perception impacted is really impacting your life. All right, so we've marked that one a 9. Oh, wait, I did that backwards. We're going to say it really impacts you with a 1. How about that? Okay, back to the drawing board. The next category is glare. Um, this this kind of goes a little bit along with the light sensitivity that we were talking about, because glare is actually caused when light bounces unintended off of other surfaces, and that can cause distortion or discomfort. So let's say glare from oncoming headlights, right? Things like that. And again, different types of lenses or fit over glasses, different colors, different tints, those can help keep that under control. And in this example, so we have somebody who's using some colors and some different things like that for protection against light sensitivity, and perhaps it helps with glare as well. So we will also mark that one a 5, like we did for light sensitivity. That is not always the case that those will be the same, because they are 2 different things, and a lot of it depends on someone's environment. So lastly, we have central vision. So we talked about the side vision, where there may be things missing on either side, and people are perhaps, you're bumping into things or missing what's going on around the sides of you. So central vision, similar concept, but it's the things that are right in front of you, as some people would say. So looking for things on a table, or if things are on a plate, such as food, if there are things that are on a shelf. So there may just be some techniques needed, such as scanning to look around the blind spot, so to speak, that's in the central vision. But let's say this is something that's new to you with a recent um, eye condition diagnosis, and you are really struggling because you are figuring it out, finding solutions, probably working with your eye care professionals in addition to hopefully vision therapists. So we're going to put that the central vision portion of this is greatly impacting your day-to-day activities. That could be whether you're working with tools, cooking, makeup. There's so many different aspects that could be impacting. So we are going to put that down here as a 1, that this is really impacting you. So now, one of the reasons I often call this the spiky low vision profile is because once we connect all of these, let me do that really quick. Is that instead of a straight line of what's low vision and what's not low vision, we have this spiky star shape that can help for communicating to others what is really each person's individual experience. Okay, now also from this, we can also determine which are the priority categories, which things are really making an impact in a negative way on enjoying life. So in this example, we had the central vision and the contrast, and the side vision, and the colors. Okay, so then we can list these, and now we have a place to start. These are the things that are most impactful for the person who is thinking about what impacts their vision is having on their life. And it's just a tool to use in conversations, like I said, with your eye care or vision professionals, with friends and family. Sometimes they have a hard time understanding, again, how is it somebody can just walk around seemingly with no problem, but then they can't find their pair of glasses right in front of them, or they miss parts of what's on their plate, right? So I hope this gives you some ideas on how to have those conversations. If you are a vision professional and you want more in-depth coverage or conversation about this wheel, then there will be information about that in the description box below. If you are somebody who just has questions, again, feel free to reach out using that link in the description box below. So now that you have more words about describing individual situations about vision, there's another video next that will talk more about problem solving. Until next time, remember, less sight does not equal less life.